So what are we up to? Okay, good. I tell you what I'm up to, taking all this junk out. So taking this part, the servo and the coil and the wiring and loose bracketry out. Maybe taking the solenoid out and bits and bobs so we can start poking around in the rusty area here. This is a bit crunchy. This is the worst bit. Ooh, you can hear that. So a bit of work on there. Been labelling things up as I go. Oh, that's nice, that is. So yeah, just a little bit of messing around. Right, so been on that for about an hour today. The young man's finished playing his darts now. So yeah, it was fine. So stripped out all the bits and bobs on this side. I mean, this really is the worst side of the car. If you compare the two, I don't know if this side has been preserved because it's just been covered in oil its whole life. But in reality, this side was always a little bit more grotty. You can see evidence. I mean, I've never really. I mean, I haven't seen it here for decades, so you can see there's been quite a few patch repairs there in the past. Although that it's rusty, it's not. I mean, it looks awful, but I think it actually isn't that bad. It's a lot of this is previous welding that hadn't been finished off very nicely. Um, a bit of a gap there, but it's not rust in there. It's like wrought iron. So around here is the main area of concern for the front. But pleasingly, I don't think the chassis leg has been affected. It's all just the surface. This is the brake lines. Like I say, it did have a servo. I'm debating whether to put that back in or not. It may be just more problematic than it's worth. It's a very light car. Doesn't particularly need a servo. It has disc brakes. It's lighter than it would be as a saloon, let's say. So I'm in two minds anyway. Um, so yeah, I mean, you can see this is rusty, obviously. This will come to pieces, but the chassis isn't rusty. There's a little roll bar there. I can't really show you without getting totally underneath, but you can see there. It's relatively solid. Again, totally caked in oil, which helps. At the back there, that's the support for the gearbox. It's got a Sierra gearbox, so that's a part of the kit from the 90s. And when we were taking the engine and gearbox out, that was very problematic. We had to drop it in the end to get the whole thing out just to shift things forward. But I want to have a good look around there because at speed, and when I say speed, I mean 60 miles an hour, um, the it had a horrible vibration through the gearbox. Um, and those bolts were quite loose, all of them, both to the gearbox and to the chassis. So I think that needs a bit of attention. Also, which didn't help when we took the engine out. This, I don't know if I'll show you actually. This engine mount was totally ruined. So this one's fine. Well, I say fine. It's going to get changed, but it's attached. This one had totally separated. So that probably didn't help with vibrations either. Other than that, I think maybe tomorrow I think I'm going to clean it up and get a wire brush onto this side. I think I'm going to focus my efforts on this side. I mean, yes, there's work to do, but like maybe a quarter, maybe less. This we know about. All of this inner wing. It's predominantly the inner wing, really. So all around here, you can see the other side. Previous videos showed me poking around with the bottom of the A post here. Um, and then in this corner here. So what we see, the rust we see on the outside of the bulkhead is also there on the inside of the bulkhead, which shouldn't really be a big surprise. But it's all doable. I mean, it's not hasn't turned into a big pile of dust, so I'm relatively pleased. So bear with. Yeah, tomorrow he's probably messing around. I was chatting with my dad as well. We're probably going to raise the front suspension a little bit whilst it's all up, just because it ran really, really low anyway. I think it was too low. It's got 13-inch wheels, which doesn't help. So it's just constantly crashing out and uncomfortable. So probably move it up one notch because I'm a bit older now and I'm not hurtling around corners like I used to. So yeah, we'll see. But that's down the road. I think we need to get it solid again. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that front left inner wing sits differently to the right one, and that front left wing, well, actually, it's the front right wing, but left as we're looking at it now. The it never sat right, never sat right, and I just can't help but wonder if it's just tucks in more than the other side. I think it does. I think this corner here. I mean, I think that's. I don't know. I can measure it, I guess. Take some centre lines and what have you, or just hit it with a hammer. Choices. Right, that's it really. Maybe another one tomorrow. Cheers.